Good day and hello, besties. My name is Shelby and welcome back to another episode recap from BB28. We are talking about episode 7. This is the week 2 Veto episode. Make sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment below as you watch as we talk all about our predictions for Thursday and who's going to go home, who's going to win HOH, and everything in between. My first impression of this episode, it was pure cinema. I was so excited to see what we did not get to see when the feeds came up. And so it was really fun to get the whole picture, the whole story of it all. And of course, it was fun to see the veto competition as well, because I always wonder what these competitions are when everybody's talking about them. So we start the episode off at the end of the nomination ceremony. We got a glimpse into what was coming on the last episode, and I was so sad we had to wait all the way until Wednesday to see what really happened. This is really exciting because the feeds did come up during this in real time. We saw the very end of Devon's trying to adjourn the ceremony, but I will let you know about what point it is when we get there. So we start off this episode with Devon's saying that the nomination ceremony is adjourned, but then we get Jason saying, big liar, telling Angela this is her HOH, and Angela does not take that, as we know. Angela says, bitch, please. House meeting. This is not over. It is not over until Angela says it's over, you guys. She says, I may be wearing this detective egg costume, but it does not take an investigator to see a messy, wannabe big brother player. He's been doing theatrics, making everyone feel sorry for him. This man is using his sexuality to play with my emotions. And Jason keeps trying to talk over her, and he's saying, he was like, I am not feeling sexual with you. And then she just tells him to zip it, because she's got more to say. Jason says, okay, mother of the house, evil stepmother, scramble these eggs. So many egg puns are in this episode, and I'm a fan of a pun, but it was running a little long. But I guess I'm no better. Jason says that it's no longer Jason. She is about to meet Selena. We get Angela then explaining the moment that they had together where he was talking about being nervous because he was the only gay person in the house, and the moment that they had on that, the bonding they did. And she says after that was done, he looked in the camera and made a face. Oh my goodness. Angela was in her Optimus Prime form. I think every time she is in an argument, she must be wearing an egg costume. It is the most comical thing I have seen. It is so funny. Jason is saying that that's crazy, and then Angela does a very passionate no! And her hat flies off. You just can't write this stuff. You really can't. They start arguing about who's going to pick up her hat. He's like, you probably can't even pick up your hat and all this stuff. Angela continues saying that every chance he gets, he's going around crying and doing things. He's saying that his feelings were real. And then Angela saying, if they're real, why are you looking in the camera and playing it up like, oh, I got her? Which she's clocking him so hard, actually. She asks him point blank, why would you do that? He responds, he starts like kind of stuttering, so you can kind of tell he's losing the argument a little bit. But he's saying that, he's never played before. Is he not allowed to have emotions and experiences for the first time since this is his first time playing? Angela says, you got caught, baby. And she says that the sad part is America knows, and that's why I won the vote. They wanted to protect me. They wanted to protect me against you. She says when he smirks in the camera, America is really laughing at him. He messy boy. This is going to go down in history. It's so good. It's literally so quotable. I cannot wait for the reenactments. Barrett, we get a Barrett DR. Thank God we got a DR from somebody because the reactions from everybody was so good. And then Barrett says, it's Humpty Dumpty against the Green Goblin. Jason starts yelling, America, hate me, please. Hate me all the way. Hate this messy bitch. And this is pretty much when the feeds cut in. This is when we got to start seeing what was happening. So we did see that he did try to adjourn this nomination ceremony. And so Devins tries again. He gives Angela her hat back, says it's excellent, and then he adjourns the meeting for a second time. But before he could finish that, Angela interrupts again. She says to Jason that she doesn't hate him, she's just hurt by him. Jason says it's a game. She accuses him of lying to her. He denies it, and then Haley comes in, and she's saying that Jason just told her that he has all the girls and wants to take them out one by one and wants Rome to build him up like a gladiator and take him out. Jason says that he was lying to Haley, says she's been a chaos demon. It's getting crazy. Rick says Jason told him last night that you're able to tell all the women little lies to get them to... Rick says that Jason told him last night that he was able to tell little white lies to all the women and get them under control if Rick wanted to put one of them up. Jason says, but didn't you fall for it for like 2 seconds? And then Rick just kind of turns around at Jason's face on the wall and he says no. And then Jason says, he says no because I'm a messy bitch. Drew gets a DR and he's saying that he feels kind of guilty and he's trying to like lay low and stay out of the drama because he is the one like giving Angela this information that's making her act like this. Angela says that Lala is hurt by Rome just throwing her away. Rome's like, can I speak now? Because you had your monologue, can I speak? He says that, Devins is a good man, and he did go up to Devins. He did not put Lala's head on a platter. He never said that. He gave Devins names. He said he had to boil him down, and that's what he did. And Devins does agree with him that that is exactly what happened. Then Devins adjourns the meeting for the third time, and this is the actual finish of the nomination ceremony. I gotta say, I love it. I just love good TV. I think... Oh, I never moved this light. Hold on 1 second. I think this is golden television. This is going to go down in Big Brother history. This night in particular, I wish I remember what night on feeds this was, but it's just excellent. It's excellent. Devins says that he is targeting Rome, and he really hopes Rome does not get picked to play this veto, and says if Rome isn't picked to play the veto, then Rome will be burning. Haley says, the meeting's adjourned, and then they're all getting up. Haley says, oh, I guess this is behind me now. And then Rome says, no one needs your snarky comments. And literally, 3 of the men jump up immediately or, do not talk to her like that. And then Rome stands up himself. He says that she's a snarky bitch. And he starts coming for her. Like I said, Barrett and the other guys are stepping in. They're like, do not talk to a woman like that. You can't talk to them like that. And why would you go at her and stand up to her? He calls her an unbearable human being. What you didn't see is on the feeds, she says he has small balls or tiny balls or something like that. Oh, I wish that was in there. Then we get a kind of like a montage of crying. Melody's crying to Lyric, and she just feels like she's playing a really bad game. And Lyric is pissed off. Drew tells both of them to just lay low and chill. It's the best thing to do. Jason does admit to smiling to the camera. He says that his feelings were real, but he was trying to get one over on Angela, and on the Angela. He and Angela hug it out, and he makes a walking on eggshells joke. Angela says she will forgive him, but she will not forget this. But now the whole house knows how much of a messy bitch he is. I'm so glad we can say the word bitch on primetime television. It's so good. This would not be the same without it. So then we get back into our crying montage. Lala's crying. She's saying she feels stupid, and Taylor's trying to comfort her. Taylor says, just let them all kill each other and sit back, which honestly, that's a great take from them, giving that they aren't really in the crosshairs of anything. Maybe Lala a little bit, whether they know that or not, but they really aren't the big fish. So this is great advice from Taylor, actually. And then Lala says it's time to straighten up. I think they said cook dinner or have dinner, and then let them duke it out. We see Dee and Devins enter the HOH room, and as soon as the door shuts, they are jumping around, they're freaking out, they are relishing in this chaos. This is, you called Haley a chaos agent. I think that's Dee and Devins, actually. Dee says it's a dream come true. She says that Rome's game is blown up, Jason's game's blown up, and their names are not in anybody's mouths. It's better than the 4th of July. Best day of her life, better than winning Survivor, and Jeff Probst is not gonna like that very much. But I love this enthusiasm because these are the type of things that make Big Brother different than Survivor. This is what, I imagine the game must kind of really go pretty slow for them, I would imagine. They must feel like the days are very long, considering that Survivor is such a significantly shorter show. I mean, 1 week of Big Brother is basically a third of Survivor at this point, if you will. But it's just crazy to, it's really fun to hear their takes and see them having so much fun playing this game. But, you get Angela in the mix and she gets a sworn enemy, you're bound to have it. And she's got 2 in Rome and Jason. So then we get more of our crying montage. This time we see Lala hugging Rome, and then Rome starts crying, saying that, I'm sorry, Mama, I'm so sorry, I tried to protect my people, I'm so sorry. And then you see Lala and the DR be like, I cannot believe I am the one comforting Rome. Go off, girl. These men, don't you just hate men sometimes? Most of the time? I don't know. She says she forgives him, but she does not trust him anymore. She says she's telling him he needs to buck up and he's got things to do tomorrow. And then I wrote down that Yash is in the cry fest cuck chair because Yash is just watching all this happen and he's just it's okay, man. Rome goes and talks to Devin. He tells Devin he respects his gameplay. Devins didn't nominate him, so, he's checking in with that, telling him that there's no bad blood and it was well played. And then that makes Devins actually respect Rome more in return as well. Angela comes in and apologizes to Devins, and Dee joins them as well. And they talk about the nomination ceremony. He's filling them in on his little meeting with Rome. And they all are confirming that Rome is the target. Then we get the image of them all holding hands, saying a prayer to the BB gods for forgiveness for Angela for blowing up like that. And they said she knows not what she does. Melody and Lyric are kind of trying to hype each other up and figure out what to do. Melody literally tells Lyric she doesn't trust Rome, which is kind of a crazy thing to just say to Lyric, but okay. She also doesn't trust Jason, and she really wants to find other people to work with. So she goes to talk to Devins, and she's saying that she feels alone, but she kind of has Drew, and Devins tells her that he doesn't think she's gonna go home this week, and they both say they respect each other, but she says in the DR that she doesn't want to work with Devins and she wants to win this veto. So you get that inkling initially, even before the veto competition, of Melody saying that she's not into Devins. She's just not that into him. And as much as Drew wants to try to make that happen, it's just not going to happen. The Melvins is just not going to happen, Drew. So, unfortunately, you know, it was there all along. So, maybe Devin's made the right move, you know. Then we get a Lyric and Rome, a Lime, which is their ship name, I suppose, a Lime moment. And she's kind of crying, and they're just talking about how much Rome wants to be with her outside of the house, basically, and just talking about how he sees himself getting married. Lyric says she doesn't want to do this without Rome, which is this part of a showmance that I don't like. I want, like, self-preservation first and then worry about your partner. I hate that she is so focused on her experience with Rome rather than her experience with being in the Big Brother house. Like, she doesn't want to be in the Big Brother house without Rome. Like, but she's not talking about going on without Rome. Like, what is she going to do if Rome leaves? Like, I don't hear any of that coming from her. So that's what I think is always disappointing in a showmance. It's like, it just becomes more about each other than it does about the game, which, like, in an emotional sense I can understand, but I don't know. I just think it's weak. It's not even the end of the second HOH. Like, let's chill out, you know? We get veto players we get drawn veto players for the competition, and luckily for them, it is Barrett and Angela who have been chosen to play the veto, and they kind of realize that veto is getting used no matter what at this point. Angela and Barrett are talking in the living room. Angela is the most comfortable laying on the living room floor, so they are laying, and Barrett's kind of like laying all weird to get some eye contact with her. Barrett's saying that he would probably use the veto on Melody if he wins, and definitely keep Lyric up next to Rome, which is textbook the right answer, the right decision. Why would you not do that? I'm not sure, fam. I'm really not. Rome is pissed. He's not picked to play in the veto, and he's talking to Drew about it in the gym. Worst case scenario is Rome and Lyric next to each other on the block for him. Drew says that he wants to play nice with Rome in case he is here, by winning the blockbuster and stuff, but he is so down to vote him out. Devins also kind of comes to the realization that pretty much everybody's going to use the veto if they win, so they're trying to figure out who to use it on. That is the name of the game. Who are we using this veto on? And Drew is hoping it's used on Melody, because Drew's very close with Melody. He's discussed this with them, that's like his public alliance in a way, and so it's a buffer for them as well. But Devin suspects that she's going to come for him, but he also suspects that of pretty much everybody else on the block. So then we get to the veto, and the veto is set in 1967. We get a classic 6-7 joke. I might have said the same thing. I'm not even kidding. I'm actually, maturity level wise, I teeter between my 32-year-old self and a 14-year-old. So the veto is called Flower Power, and they're kind of at it's a whole like music festival setup, very Woodstock vibes. They are at the Festival of Love, and in this competition, the house guests need to put a puzzle together where they have these different shaped pieces, and they are trying to find the right figuration of them to fit inside a frame with none of them touching the borders or going out of lines or anything like that. Melody's struggling. She seems to know this is not her bag. She says she'd rather be anywhere else. And Barrett's pretty much in the same boat as she is. So they're both struggling pretty bad with this competition. Everyone else seems to be going for the strategy of finding the biggest pieces and where they go first. I think that is sound strategy. That is something that I also would do in this competition, because the bigger pieces won't go on the outside because they would bleed off. So those are probably pretty easy pieces to find where they go first. But honestly, besides that, it seems like a really, really hard competition. And in this, Angela hits her buzzer first, but she has one piece that is out of bounds. And then Jason and Devin seem to be a little neck and neck, but they both hit their buzzers around the same time, but Devin's hit his buzzer first, and so he wins Veto. So Devin's holds all of the power this week. And what is he going to do with all this power? Disappoint me. That's what he's going to do. We move on to the campaigning, and Jason is sad that he has to kiss his slouchy Adam Sandler ass, and Melody is feeling a little okay about Devin's winning, and Lyric really wants Devin to use that veto on her, so her and Rome come up with a plan. They are both talking in the have-not bed about faking a breakup so that they can separate themselves. Lyric also in this conversation just keeps saying, yes, baby, yes, baby, to him, and this is why I want Rome to leave. I am so freaking tired of Lyric baby voice. Baby girl, stand up, stand your ass up, and let's play Big Brother, huh? Instead of kissy kissy boo boo with Rome, and let's get our heads in the game, huh? Now I say this, she did kind of get her head in the game, and she did do what she had to do. So Lyric is flirting with all the other guys. She's flirting with Chuck, and she's putting her hand on his leg, and they're being a little touchy-feely. She's just being a lot more flirtatious. Rome is also on the other side of the house talking about how they broke up, how, this conversation went poorly because we just had a hard conversation, and, they're just both spreading the word on each side of their house about how they broke up, but Drew isn't really buying it. And honestly, nobody should be. This is so blatantly strategy. It's textbook. But then Lyric goes and talks to Devins, and this is where she just makes her pitch to Devins. And this is kind of a little bit of an example of just go for it kind of a thing. Lyric tells Devins that she wants him to use the veto on her, she wants him to put Rome up, and that her and Rome are separated, and she said that she's not going to put him up if she wins HOH, and Devins is buying it. Devins is hook, line, sinker a little bit. He is just eating up every single word that Lyric has, to where when Lyric leaves the room, he's literally why do I believe her? Should I believe her? I don't know, I just do. And then Melody talks to Devins. She's telling him that she wants Devins to use the veto on her, and Devins is saying that he is probably using it, but he's explaining to her, he kind of wants to take Lyric off in case Rome ends up staying with a blockbuster to win a little favor, which I guess he's pretty transparent about it, but I would be pissed off if you're telling me I'm on the block. You told me I'm probably not going home, but you're not going to use the veto on me? And then we see Devins talking to Drew. Drew is trying to pitch for Melody to be taken off the block with the veto. He's saying that, he's got some sway with her. He can help, direct her vote to where it needs to go. Oh, and he also tells Devins about his suspicions about the breakup between Rome and Lyric. And Devins is pretty much yeah, I pretty much believe that. That it's not real. But then Devins mentions in the DR that he's concerned with how close Drew is with Melody, and I guess Drew pushing Melody as well is kind of making his suspicions a little higher, so it kind of gives Devins a little bit of a reason to keep Melody on the block, because if Melody stays on the block, then, it's just kind of if Melody stays on the block, then it keeps Drew in check a little bit when it comes to his relationship with Melody. So, makes them squirm a little bit, but I really don't. I think it's so stupid to take a shot at a showmance and not have both of them up there. But whatever. Devin's seen Angela talk, and Angela is polling for the veto to be used on Melody. But Dee makes a push for it to be used on Lyric. She says that the showmance could be a shield for them, basically, and they, that target's going to get bigger on their backs the deeper they go in, and she doesn't really trust Melody and doesn't really mind if she goes this week. At the veto ceremony, Devins uses the veto on Lyric and puts Rome up, and he just says that he trusts Lyric more than he trusts Melody, which kind of... But Lyric's not being honest. Like, there is no way in hell if Lyric won HOH next week, she is not putting Devins up. There's no way in hell. Yeah, Lyric says that she's happy she's off the block. She says she hopes Love wins this week. I hope Love loses this week. How about that, Lyric? Jason is saying, it's time to clean up his act with all the ugly stepsisters around him, and he's got to start being nice to them. And Melody says a huge game move would have been to take her off and keep the showmance up there. And I completely agree with her. And she says that she will be putting Devins up if she stays and she gets power. I think I'm going to vote for her for the America's vote thingy. Because Melody is spitting straight facts. I really, really don't agree with Devin's choice to take Lyric off the block. I think he should have taken Melody off the block, gain a little favor with her, because I feel like that's a more guaranteed number than to have to worry. The reason why you're worrying about Rome if he stays is because Lyric is still there, because they're still a duo. Like, Lyric by herself, she can navigate and probably do something okay with that, but she's not near as powerful by herself as she is with Rome. So why would you even have that chance even be there? I don't understand. Rome says that he's going to start talking trash and that this blockbuster is his. So, as far as the live feeds go, if you want to know, don't want to know, now's your chance to click out. But if you are going to click out, please subscribe. Follow me at Shelby Ashley, and that first E is a 3 pretty much everywhere. And come back tomorrow where we see what happens with this blockbuster competition, see who our next HOH is after tomorrow night, and see who gets evicted from the Big Brother house. And I will be here with you tomorrow to give you all of that. So if you're leaving now, thank you so much for watching. But if you want to know a little bit about what's going on in the house, now is your time to stay. Now, the plan in the house for now, tomorrow is eviction, so there's not a whole lot of time left, but it is Waffle Wednesday. So it's kind of looking to me like, looks like Rome is going to go home no matter who he sits next to. But Jason versus Melody is where I am so scared. I really don't know what the plan is. I don't know who's really telling the truth about where their vote lies. I think it's leaning toward Jason leaving, but I could see a world where a couple people sway and they decide to get rid of Melody. And I think that's actually a direct result from Melody trying to distance herself from Mallory when Mallory was on the block last week. I think that just kind of started this snowball effect of Melody becoming this unwanted alliance member because she ditched Mallory so quickly. Even though it was early days, like, it's also early days. Like, these are first impressions. These are, like, people don't see you as a valuable alliance member because of your past actions. So I guess that's kind of why Melody's in the spot she's in, and that's why Rick Devins didn't take her off, because Rick was talking before about how much that put a bad taste in his mouth of how much Melody was distancing herself from Mallory in the first week. So, it's just the consequences of your own actions a little bit. But, and I honestly, I'm okay with either conclusion. But if Rome doesn't win that blockbuster and stays, I'm throwing my television out the window. I will be so disappointed, because then all of this was for what? Get Melody out? You blew up your whole spot for nothing? Okay. Rome's just going to be pissed at Devins and everybody on that side. Like, what? I just don't understand. I have a prediction. I think it'd be fun to kind of predict what type of competition it might be. I think that this blockbuster, I think that the producers would love to see Rome stay. So I think it'd be a pretty physical blockbuster, and I could see it maybe being like the rope one, where you have to where you're attached to a rope and you have to climb through and detangle yourself. Maybe something kind of like that. Maybe like the one that they like to do where you run and do the balls. I don't remember what all of the blockbuster competitions were, but that's usually a veto and a double eviction type vibe. So I'm not really quite sure what they'll do, but my guess is the detangle the rope competition. And I really want Melody to win because I am really enjoying watching Melody, and I think I'm going to vote for her for the time capsule as well. I haven't made a vote yet. Who are you voting for? Make sure to comment that below and let me know because I'm so interested to know. That's pretty much where we are at, though. I am so excited for Thursday as always. It's the best night of the week, as I say all the time. And so, yes, thank you so much for watching. I will be here tomorrow with the eviction recap episode, and then we can have some fun predictions about who we think is going to win HOH and maybe what some noms are. Maybe we can make a prediction of who we think is going to get evicted next week and see how that happens or something. So tell me all your predictions down below. Make sure to subscribe, like this video, all this stuff. It helps me out so much and I appreciate it. And thank you so much for tuning in. And until next time, bye!